Relax and get loose while I put you up on game. The Figure Booth with Josh and Nate. This that podcast for those in the know. Batman vs. Iron Man, how would it go? We talking one of a kind, collectibles. Mezco toys are respectable. It's unacceptable if it's not in the packaging. Nate don't take pics if you ain't rapping it. Nate's dirty tricks are always happening, but damn it, man, don't you be stressing. Round here we believe in plastic confessions. We trying to figure out the figures that's gonna stand the test of time. That G.I. Joe handmade hit me in the spine. There's perfection in the way that these toys are made, but I also wanna know, do I pick Wade or Slade? So this is where I come to kick it with the guys. The Figure Booth. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hello, and welcome. You've made it to the Figure Booth here, where we talk about the modern day collector and the ups and downs that they go through. We go over pre-orders, we share our plastic confessions, and we do interviews with those in the toy community. I'm your host, Josh, aka Prime to the First, and I'm joined by my friend co-host, FigureFan_Nate. What's up, Nate?
Hey guys, this is Nate, FigureFan_Nate, and you've reached episode 78, which we're calling Lowered Expectations.
Oh, set that bar real low.
Lowered Expectations.
Hey, I remember that. I remember putting the ad out, and then Mario responded, and I was like, perfect. Perfect. When I pulled up for Decon, and I was like, who's this guy? The expectations were really low, and he met him. I was like, cool.
So you're one of those guys in the classifieds looking for love.
Looking for love.
And Mario answered,
I want short walks on the beach and long dinners.
Hey, that works.
Short
and
walks.
Don't ask me to pay.
Don't ask me to pay. Don't ask me what them ankles do, because I'm a little sore right now.
Oh, wow.
From the short walks, not from the long walks.
Okay. If you have to ask what the ankles do, you'll never know what they do.
Or if you ask him why he's sore, then.
Right, yeah.
But we don't want to get off topic.
Yeah, don't expect him to explain, right? No, so we're talking about expectations versus reality.
What?
You see a lot of memes about it, expectations, which is usually something, I don't know, the best memes I can think of.
Digital renders.
Right.
Digital renders.
There you go. Digital render. That's a good toy-related one. I was going to say something that's very not toy-related.
Let's keep it toy-related.
Yeah. Digital render versus a figure in hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't always match. And then in other ways, sometimes the promotional may not do the final figure justice. It's better than what you expect.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's actually a plus, right? Lately, maybe like from probably let's say like the last 2 years, there's been a lot of like we've gone away from, and I think only because companies have been pumping out so much, and they're trying to keep up with everyone else. Third party companies, they're kind of like a big deal now. Like,
yeah,
they're putting out some good quality stuff, right? So I think the big boys in the league, they started going towards these digital renders, where at first people were very against the digital renders. Like, they almost felt like they were going to be duped. And even some of the prototypes, like the one that comes to mind is Union Jack, where it looked like he had that butterfly joint. And then when the actual figure came out, it was like the old buck, and he didn't have the butterfly joint. So I remember a lot of people were kind of upset about that.
Yeah. I'm not really a fan of the digital renders for promoting a figure, simply because things do change between the planning phase into production. Hey, this isn't going to work the way that you thought. Oh, okay. Well, let's just change it. And then by the time you get it in hand, you don't really have the story to tell.
Yeah.
For how it got from here to here. You just are disappointed at some point, because you're like, this is what I was expecting. Why did it not come out this way?
Yeah.
So I think renders in general are a bit dangerous. The one that a big one that comes to mind is I can't even remember the name of the Instagram now, but you probably already know what I'm talking about.
The vehicle. Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, the vehicle
112
garage that happened.
Yeah.
Right, 112 garage.
All we saw was digital renders of all these vehicles.
Yeah, multiple vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And they're taking money for that.
Yeah.
And they're promising a product, and then they show another pre-order, and they show another pre-order, and it's like, dude, you've got probably 6 or 7 vehicles out here that are all pre-orders. We've only seen renders. And then, as time starts to go on, you realize, okay, he's only really made one that he's showing off in this video.
Yeah.
And then the guy ends up ghosting everyone and stealing people's money. And it's a horrible nightmare.
Yeah.
So I think that in general has put a bad taste in my mouth from just renders. But then also kind of what we're seeing, and not to point at any one company, because I think there's other companies that do this too. But what comes to mind is the Super 7, the worst figures. I remember I looked at the renders and I was very excited about those. I'm like, man, these are going to be great.
Yeah.
And then some people got them in hand. They're fairly disappointed, either because the paint didn't come out the same or the articulation didn't come out the same.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more to that story than what I know.
Right.
But that was disappointing for, I think, some people, and maybe has them a bit wary on placing that next pre-order.
Right.
So I think expectations are something that not only companies can create, but we also create in ourselves, where we're expecting, say if it's a character that we really like, oh, this is going to be the best figure ever,
Yeah.
Or it's going to be the best Batman in my collection. And we're just judging that based off a pre-order image. It's like, well, I hope it comes out that way.
Yeah.
But I think those expectations can be dangerous because they put ideas in your head about how something is supposed to be.
Right.
And then when it comes out that it didn't meet all your expectations, you're disappointed.
Yeah.
So as the title suggests, maybe start lowering those expectations a bit.
Yeah. Which is really incredibly difficult to do. It's much easier said than done.
Right.
Because it's hard to not have expectations. But if you have some form of not having any expectations with anything, like if you have no expectations when it comes to certain aspects of things in your life, especially when it comes to your hobby, obviously you can have certain expectations of where you want your hobby to be or what do you wish to attain. But I think when it comes to certain products, man, it's hard to not fall into that pitfall of always trying to like reset the expectation back to zero. It's like a company that I've had experience where I try not to let my expectations get out of hand is specifically Mezco. A lot of times, they weren't really the digital renders, but they used like some of the shots for promos. It's like, it looks a bit funky, but because I've had enough experience with them in hand products where I know I'm like, oh, it's gonna be solid. Like I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna love it. So I don't even pay attention to the promo pics. Like a lot of times it's just I want to get in my basket, pay for it, and then I'll go back and look at the pictures and all right, it's cool, whatever. But then every once in a while, like again, you already have that preset expectation where it's like, oh, it's always great. It's the consistency is there, the quality is there. They're not going to have the Midas touch on every single product. There's going to be a couple that are just going to fall short, right? So I've had, we've all had a couple of Mezcos where I get them and I'm like, I thought this was going to be better. This was going to be a better fig. Like, I'm not really blown away. And what I started to realize with it started happening with some of the Gomez figures and even like the Pink Skull. Like, yes, I was so pumped because I was like, I'm finally going to get my Pink Skull set. My expectation was really high. I was like, yes. And then I got them and I'm like, these just feel like 3 Gomez figures just with pink skull heads. Like, and ideally that's what they are. Yes. And all the accessories are cool, but that magic wore off so quickly that my expectations were like, oh, this freaking like, I've only taken out 1 of the 3 pink skulls. The other 2 and all the accessories are still in the box. So that tells me like that magic has worn off. It's not, it's like when you go on a date, it's like, this is like date number 10. Like I'm looking for something new now. Yeah.
No, those are all valid points. And, sticking with Mezco, another expectation, this is going to come out on time. It's going to meet the pre-order window that it originally stated.
Or I finally get my version. I finally get the one I missed out on.
Nice.
And then I have a bicep issue.
At least it's a single bicep and not a double.
That's true.
Yeah. And from what I heard, heat can help, although some of these are very fused, very stuck.
Yeah.
So if you have
I've been using my body heat with them, just laying there.
Oh yeah,
holding them close,
cuddling
with them.
Please come loose.
Just breathing very hard on them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so don't buy Prime's Koenig because it's gonna stink.
It's gonna smell good. It's gonna smell like bourbon.
Bourbon. Just liquid bourbon.
Not only do I drink it, but it's my body spray.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got bodily fluids that it's just bourbon. But yeah, I mean, like those kind of expectations. If you know that typically they don't hit that pre-order window, then just know that going into the pre-order. You know, like, hey, I'm gonna place this pre-order. It says April of 2024.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen in the past, they typically miss the windows. So maybe June of 2024.
Yeah.
Truthfully, for me, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I try to budget for stuff, but it's not like I'm saying if Keaton Batman doesn't come in January, then I'm going to have some serious problems with my collection. You know, it's like if it comes in March, who cares? Like, I don't really mind, but I get people are saying, well, they should hold to the promises that they're setting. And I agree with that. But is it really going to make a difference for me when I get it? Not really, because figures are coming in every single day.
Yeah, they're coming in a lot. And I guess the expectation with the Batman specifically, it's like you could have taken out a loan on a TV for 36 months and you could have paid it off and still been like, oh, I'm done paying off this loan.
Yeah.
And my Batman still hasn't got here.
True. It's been a long time. I don't think 3 years is going to be the norm going forward, even though
I hope not.
Some people in groups will lead you to believe like, this is it, guys. 3 years is the new norm. Like I get it. It's the most relevant thing to talk about. And it's something that we're all dealing with, but I don't think it's going to be the norm. But if you want to make sure that you're not disappointed, lower the expectations going into it. Yeah. They are going to miss the pre-order window, probably by a couple months. And Mezco's not the only company that does that. It happens with Mafex.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't collect Legends as much, but I'm sure it's happened there.
It never happens with Legends.
No? Okay.
No.
Never
Actually,
with Legends.
they show up 2-3 times a wave all at once. And you're like, wait, I wasn't even expecting this. Where did this come from?
Yeah, maybe a bad example.
No, I think with Legends, it's like, but again, the abundance of stuff that's out there, you can't expect to collect everything. Like that's one thing. Right. Coming in as a collector, especially like I try to remind myself, there's novice collectors that this is their first month in collecting. Rule number one, like you can't collect everything. That's the first expectation. Tell yourself that. You're going to see a bunch of cool stuff. Everything from NECA, which right now like is on fire. You're going to see stuff from Legends. You're going to see stuff from Toddy Mac. You're going to see stuff like, I mean, I went to Target earlier and I saw a bunch of cool stuff from all those lines and even some like random Hot Wheels. And I'm like, wait, why am I walking out with a bunch of random stuff? Like I got some Legos in the cart. I got some freaking NECA stuff. I was like, nope, I just gotta put all this down and just walk. So right now there's like a basket somewhere in the aisle. They're like, what the like
jackpot? Like, whoa, somebody did all the work for me.
And I mean, that's my message to the novice collector that's just stepping in. Like, tell yourself you can't collect everything. Reset the expectation and really stick to like what you really want to collect and put that FOMO to the side. Like that's it right there.
That's a great point. I think it's best not to try to compare yourself to others. You know, you're an individual for a reason. And if Prime is picking up new figures every single day, doesn't mean that we're in some kind of competition. Like I've got to do the same thing. You know, and what you're seeing from people in social media may not be the full reality as well. You know, the grass isn't always greener on the other side type of thing. People show you what they want you to see on social media. They're trying to present their best selves. So if you're using that as a way to compare yourself against others, it's not the greatest measuring tool because you're really only getting half the story.
Yeah.
I think it's just be aware of your expectations. You know, ask yourself, what am I expecting from this situation? Is that really realistic, or should I maybe lower those expectations a bit so that when it does, come out great, I'm surprised in a good way and not surprised in a bad way.
Yeah. And that's incredibly difficult to do. I mean, like that's something not from a collector standpoint, just more from a personal standpoint that I've been trying to really get a good grasp on is just having zero expectations with everything. Like I'm going to, I have no expectations when it comes to my collection. I know how much I want to collect. And I know for a fact how much I don't want to collect. And that's why I've been selling a bunch of stuff. And at first it was really difficult. And now it's been really easy. It's almost giving me a sense of relief. And it's giving me a lot of peace of mind where I'm like, that's okay. I can let a lot of this stuff go because the sentimental attachment is no longer there. And the memories are still here, but it's not attached to that one item, right? It's not the
Mhm.
it's not a materialistic type of attachment. So because I got such a good experience with that, I was like, let me apply this to everything else and really expect nothing. And it sounds like cynical, but I expect nothing from nobody
Yeah.
or anything in life. Like if it's there's a saying, and it go amor fati. It's like whether it's good or bad, I'm going to love it. Like whatever fate brings me, if it's good, great, I will love it. If it's bad, great, I will love it. Um, because if it's bad, let's say I get a flat tire, I can spend all my energy focusing on the fact that I got a simple flat tire. Or I can be like, got a flat tire, I'm gonna change it, and then I'll just go on with my day. Put on the
Yeah.
donut, and then that's it. And then it's an event that, hey, I couldn't control. It didn't have a that big of a deal. But I've seen people where like the littlest things, they got the coffee wrong, or the coffee was made incorrectly. Again, you're having these expectations like everything should always go right for
Hmm.
you. So your
Hmm.
order should always be processed promptly. You should always, like, Amazon should always deliver the figure you order. Or and now that we're going with these different types of packaging, the windowless and their cardboard, like it should. And yes, we're gonna have these issues, and hopefully they do change, and hopefully there is something. But I think a lot of times we're expecting like everything to be QC free, or we're expecting perfect paint apps. Like those are really unrealistic expectations. If you have no expectations, you don't have to go to the other extreme. I mean, this is me, right? This is my opinion. You don't have to go to the other extreme and be like, oh, these paint apps are trash, or I'm gonna expect Toddy Mac to pump out nothing but garbage. Like it doesn't have to be that bad either. We've talked about being, the negative collector in there. You
Hmm.
have your own space, but setting the bar and keeping the bar at a very neutral stance, I think that's super hard. It's been very challenging for me, but it's also been incredibly rewarding when you have interactions with individuals and you expect nothing, whether the conversation is good or bad. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to expect anything. I'm just going to go in there, be present, and then like just enjoy the interaction with this other individual. But let's see where the conversation goes. And a lot of times the conversations um really really honest. It's, you can sense it's like it's a two-way road, and you're really like
Hmm.
understanding another person and getting their perspective on whatever it is, even if it's what they do for their day job, or even as a collector. Like these toy swap meets, I've been meeting other collectors, and I just ask them like, hey, what other lines are you into, or what is it that you're looking for, or how's your collection going, and I have these amazing conversations with these individuals, and at the end of the day I'm like, hey, that was pretty cool. Like I met a handful of local collectors, and I got to know that some guys are just specifically NECA, or they're 1/6, but they look for props. It's just, you get so much out of just
Right.
having genuine conversations, and then not expecting, like, I never go to these toy shows saying or expecting I'm gonna unload everything, I'm gonna sell all my figures, and I'm gonna walk out with a wad of cash. Like,
Right.
and I don't think the opposite either. I don't think, oh, I'm gonna show up, no one's gonna buy anything, I'm gonna be here all sad and low. Like I'm just like, I'm there, and then like let's see what happens. That's
Yeah.
great. I think that's really hard for people to do.
It definitely is, and you bring up a lot of good points. And I think the central focus, at least for me, is it's all about your mental state.
Yeah.
It's all about like what you choose to set as an expectation for yourself, and you're the one setting the expectations, and then you're the one that's disappointing yourself. There's really
Yes.
nobody else that's doing that.
Yeah.
And I think it's bad to expect that the world is here to fulfill your expectations, because that's
Yeah.
not the case.
Yeah.
You got to fulfill your own expectations.
Have
And
you
if
seen
you're,
some of the comments on some of these streams? Like, I think, I
oh
think they're
God,
there to, how dare Hasbro or Mezco not serve the fans? How dare
right?
they? That's, I
Yeah,
know you're dead on point. They hitting the nail on the head with that. Like, I bet honestly, like, I think some of us, that's kind of like harder. That's a tough pill to swallow when you say it like that, because I could see myself being at a point where it's like, wait, how could this company not meet my expectations? They're a company, they should. Like people
right.
take it's easy, but you're right that we need to have like not that expectation. That's, I don't know. I think to me that's a really interesting just thought of frame of thought of to have not to not expect the world to be at your will call.
Yeah, right. Don't expect that people are here to make you
Mm-hmm.
happy. 'Cause that's not
Yeah.
that's not. Everybody's out for themselves at the end of the day. Yeah, you care
Yeah.
about other people and things like that,
At the end of the day,
but
everyone's out for themselves. Yeah.
right. It sounds morbid, but that's true.
It's true.
You know, and I think I see a lot of entitlement with toy companies in general. Like you're talking about, some of the comments just get real nasty and personal for, I mean, why are we talking about personal stuff in this toy company? I mean, and actual people work here. You know?
Yeah, no, but you're right. Like everyone is out for themselves. Like you know, when you go hunting, whether it's at a store or even some of these swap meets, you're looking for deals, right? You're like, you want, of course, you want to get the best deal as a buyer, and as a seller, you want to sell like top dollar. And everyone is out there for themselves. But and here's the one way I've approached it, because that's something very key back to the mental state is, I have told myself, you know what, at the end of the day, no one has my back. It's just me. Like at the end of the day, I came into this earth by myself. I'm gonna leave. Like, no, it's every person for themselves. But how I can approach every interaction without being so cynical and be like, oh, F everybody, it's just having an extreme amount of compassion when it comes to interactions with individuals. So I'll give you an example. There was this like dad and his kid, and the dad was like buying some loose figures, and he was cool. He's like, oh yeah, you know, I do some customization, because he had picked up some figures that didn't have the heads on them. It was like some legends that the heads, apparently I took them off, and so I gave him a lower. I'm like, oh, like those, if you buy X, he was buying a good amount, so I'm like, I'll just throw those in because I don't have any heads. He's like, no, it's okay because I'm a customizer. And so we started talking about that, right? And then his kid was looking at like this MCU Captain America and Iron Man and Doctor Strange, and he was so pumped. He was just like, oh dad, like in the movies and this and that. And he's like, yeah, I've been showing my kid like the Marvel movies and stuff. And we were having this genuine conversation. So he bought his figures, and then he's like, okay, I think at that point I was doing them like 3 for $25 or something. Or I can't remember what I was giving him the price for those 3 figures. And the kid only had like $10 or something. And he's like, oh, you know, this is your allowance. So he's like, okay, well, I'll only get Doctor Strange and Captain America. And he's like, man, but I really like the Iron Man. So he put it back, and I was like, here, no, take it. Like, you really, and man, the minute I gave it to him, like he lit up like the 4th of July. He was just like, I'm gonna have my Avenger Marvel team. And the dad was like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I saw the look in his eye. I remember being a kid and wanting it. And I was like, here, you can have it. Like, here. And then the kid gave me his $10, and I turned around and gave it to the dad. I'm like, here. Like, it's like, I'd rather have that kid be super happy that he got those 3 figures that he wanted, and well, now just make him do chores or have him do something else, and then give him his $10. Like, that was the kid's money. So I don't know. To me, and the kid thought like, oh, I gave him my $10, and I just turned around and gave it back to his dad. I'm like, you know what? Like, and then the dad was just like, dude, that's cool. That's so cool of you. I'm like, as a collector, that's what I want for other collectors to be like, help out those ones, especially like he was what, like I think 7. I mean, I'm not gonna take $10 from a 7-year-old. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah, and that's a great story. And you know, unfortunately, not everybody's as nice as Prime. And if the mistake is to leave Prime's booth and go to somewhere else and expect that same kind of treatment,
oh yeah,
you know, you're not going to get that all the time. Yeah. But there are some good people out there. Unfortunately, it seems like good people are becoming more and more rare. Yeah. You know, there's common courtesies kind of out the window nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think one thing about expectations as well, your expectations can outpace gratitude.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, let's say, I don't know, you're waiting on a gift from your significant other for Valentine's Day. Okay. You expect it to be like a PS5.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been telling my wife I want a PS5, and, you know, I'm getting a PS5.
Yeah.
And then she gets you a gift. And it's maybe something a bit personal, like a watch or whatever it is.
Or sock and ties.
You know? And you immediately respond with, well, where's the PS5? You know, I thought I told you I wanted the PS5.
Yeah.
So you're not even recognizing that they have done something for you. You're using your expectation to throw it back in their face. Like, I'm not even grateful for anything you've given me here because it's not what I expected you to get me. Mm-hmm. And unless they said to you, yes, this is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
You're the one putting that expectation out there. They never said that to you. But because you said it so much, you're assuming that it's going to happen.
Dropping too many hints.
Right. Dropping too many hints. But that outpaces the gratitude. So you're not even saying thank you to your significant other. Like, hey, thanks for the thought. This is a great gift. Maybe it's not the PS5 that I wanted, but it's definitely something that's useful to me. So I appreciate it. And that's just one example.
And then ask for the receipt so you can go return it.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, like, savor what you have. Savor what you get, because you're lucky that you have somebody that even cares enough to do anything for you. You know?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, no one's gonna give two rats about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if
Gratitude, man, gratitude is another. It goes hand in hand with expectations, and that's the thing, though. Like going back to what we're saying, like zero expectations. Don't expect anything from anybody. But not in a cynical way. Have extreme compassion when you're interacting with others. Gratitude will come. Like you'll start to see what what you should be really grateful for, and then a lot of times it's just the individuals that are in your circle,
right.
And I think when you act, when your actions are truthful, and the dialogue that you have with those are just, and there's no hidden agenda, or you're not trying to manipulate anybody. I think it creates a full circle where then those that are interacting with you and they see like, man, like this guy's just really humble and really genuine. Like there's a lot of collectors out there that are just, and there's a handful that come to mind, but and I don't want to mention any specific individuals, but there's like, if you start thinking about like there's some collectors where they have a ton of followers or they put out great content, but when you've interacted with them, whether they respond to a comment that you put or you see them on a stream, like they're always humbling, like that type of thing that only attracts even more people to them. So if you can take a page out of their book and expect nothing, be compassionate, and be grateful, having gratitude, I think those that are within your circle want to show you that and 10 times worth or 10 times more back to you, like either by supporting you or by getting you gifts or by getting you a PS5. Nate, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted a calendar. I got you a calendar. I didn't know you wanted a PS5. You should have told me.
See, with you, I didn't expect you were going to do anything, and then I ended up getting not only a counter but amazing dia, which and the expectations far exceeded. I mean, the reality far exceeded the expectations.
No, you had no expectations, right? You didn't expect anything.
I had zero expectations.
You told me, you're like, don't get me anything. I was like, don't worry, I'm not.
Right. Yeah, and then he did, and so the reality was better. Yeah. But I think that kind of thing is what we're talking about. Don't go into a situation expecting that you're going to get something out of it.
Right.
Go into a situation just because you're trying to be a kind person. Like, hey, I want to do this for you because, I feel like you deserve it. Or to Prime's point, I'm in a live and somebody's giving me comments. You're not going to say like, yeah, I'm a total badass.
Yeah.
You'd be like, thank you. That means a lot. I put a lot of work into it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I learned my lesson. I took Mario out to lunch one time, and then, he's like, what them ankles do? I'm like, nope, get out of the car. Like
chasing off Jay Leno.
He's like, who said that? He's like starting fights. I was like, nope, not my type of date.
Right.
One, not that easy. And two, you got to wine and dine me. You don't think you're going to take me to freaking Arby's once? And no, come on, dude.
Arby's. Yeah. That's a quality.
He was like,
right there.
Here's the beef. And I was like, no, not, you need to take me to 5-star restaurant. Come on. So I had to call 78. So I was like, you know what? I'm going back to 78. Forget you 79.6. Going back to 7. I'm going to one digit less.
96778. There you go. Yeah. Sounds like a zip code. Figure collectors in different area codes. I'm trying to think of like a good song for that.
Can't wait for the comments.
Yeah. There's going to be good comments on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, all we're trying to say, guys, is that it's just something that I think we deal with.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people out there are dealing with it, especially with figures.
Yeah. And there's so much. There's so much going
reset
on. The expectation. Right now, it's like the best time. Everyone's dropping a bunch of stuff. There's going to be a bunch of delays. Like, already tell yourself that. Like, there's going to be a ton of figures I want.
Right.
Do I have my budget for 2023 ready?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a bunch of delays. Am I prepared for that? There's other stuff I want to do. Am I prepared for that? Like, you have to have like this type of constant check-in with yourself. So that way you kind of are aware of, okay, where am I expecting all these figures this year? Or am I expecting to drop this much money and then still take care of the wifey and take her to Arby's? Like, am I still expected to do that? I don't know. It's constantly, I think
Prime really likes Arby's.
No, I've only been there once and I got sick. I freaking hate Arby's. Constantly resetting that expectation, I think, to try to not let yourself get sucked into that type of like
Yes.
I don't know, that like that wave where you're just like going with the flow and trying to keep up with everybody. It's hard. It's not easy by any means, but I think just being aware of just kind of where you're at from a mental state standpoint is very crucial. And then just making sure that you have your checks and balances. Like you got good people in your corner that tell you you're kind of falling off the path or whatnot.
Yeah, like Prime said, I think expectations are something that should be managed constantly. And the best indicator of the future is the past. So if you're wondering if Mezco is going to delay a figure, maybe just look at the last few. Did they get delayed? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so if I'm choosing to give them my money up front, I'm also accepting that I know that they typically delay figures.
Yeah.
And sometimes things happen where I'm not getting it when I want it.
Yeah. You might as well pay off that car.
Right. So am I going to make the choice to give them my money now and then sign up for that? Because I think when you're pre-ordering, you're also signing up for what that company normally does, how they conduct business. You know what you're getting into. Yeah. And anybody that says that they don't, is I don't think there's truth to that all the time. Like, oh, well, I didn't think there's going to get delayed. Yeah. If you're new to the game, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've been around for a while, you know what to expect.
Shame on you.
Right. To not really shame on you, but
no. Shame on you. No. Okay, no shame on them. No shame. We're not shaming you.
Shame.
You wear the dunce hat for like 10 seconds and then you take it off.
Right. No, we're gonna cast a bunch of shame.
Oh, okay. Shame.
All I'm saying is like you only have yourself to blame.
Yeah,
because you knew what was gonna happen going into it. Yeah. So don't act all surprised when you're like, oh crap, another delay.
Yeah.
I see people that get mad about delays and then they get mad when it's actually being fulfilled. They're taking all my money. Like, what do you want? Do you want the figure on time?
I gotta drink this coffee hot. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. Oh, this thing's got a fused bicep. Like, oh man, I feel like I've been wronged. Well, contact Mezco and get a refund if that's what you want.
Sell it,
but don't go to their Instagram page and give them death threats.
So close.
Sell it to Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like manage the expectations, everybody.
Yeah.
And
lower them.
Maybe
manage
lower them a bit.
And lower them.
Right.
And then you'll get friends like Mario and 7, 8, 9. I don't know how many digits.
7, 9, 10, 6,
7, 9, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. They should combine and it's like a Voltron.
Those
situation.
two should not combine because with that with his dance moves and 78's rings, it's gonna be like Saturday Night Fever. It's just gonna be lights and sparkly things everywhere.
On 37 points of articulation, 7 plus 9 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8.
It's 36 head sculpts.
Yeah, 36, 37. Yeah, ultra form. But I think this can be applied to relationships. It can be applied to your job. I hear people all the time like, how am I going to find a career that I'm 100% happy about? I don't think it exists.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Yeah, no job or situation is perfect. There's always going to be something they're going to ask you to do that you're not happy about or excited about. Even if you're doing toy photography, you heard it straight from Trevor.
If your job interview is like second question is like what them ankles do. If you're on a lunch date with Mario and he's like, what them ankles do?
Like,
the job's not going to be that great. Like,
right.
Come on.
Right. Like, oh gosh, this is
here we go.
Question. Cool.
It's awkward. Yeah.
But you're never you can't be satisfied all the time if you're keeping your expectations.
Up too high. Lower them, manage them.
Yeah.
Keep yourself in check.
You'll always be surprised, and then appreciate what you have. Good. Right.
Yeah.
Like, try to appreciate what we're always in this race to consume, get the next figure. But we're not taking the time to appreciate what we have. And we're just looking towards what we're going to get next.
Yeah.
And, I think that can kind of ruin your reality at the end of the day when you got all these figures and maybe you're not 100% happy about them. And it's because you're not taking the time to appreciate what you have. And you're just trying to look at this bigger, better thing that's coming out.
And before we started our podcast, there was the Toy Photographers podcast. It's been a good minute. And Jack's Plastic Action was on there, and he was talking about gratitude and how he practices it. Hearing him talking about gratitude, man, changed my mindset. Ever since then, like that really resonated with me. Not that I wasn't aware of it, but I don't know. I think just the way he broke it down, I was like, holy moly! Like I need to not do it that way, but I need to again take a page out of his book and just what he was saying. It was just like it felt like he was speaking directly to me as I was driving, just listening to him on the Toy Photographers podcast. It was just a long time ago, but it was awesome.
I remember that. Yeah, it was a great podcast. I think it was Dakota.
Yep, Dakota.
Yeah, that was doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that his interview with Jax Plastic Action, like freaking phenomenal. One of the best. One of my favorites, all-time favorites.
Yeah. And Jax, we all know Jax. I mean, if you haven't found Plastic Action, then you might be new to the game, but he's one of the biggest out there, and he's finally doing
incredibly humbling, man. Like, dude's like so down to earth.
One of the nicest guys I've ever met. I met him at SCCC one year, and he's just to Prime's point, incredibly humbling. Doesn't get a big head about his success, and
he's always super busy. But he
always very busy.
And times to respond.
He's been able to make this a career. I mean, he posted recently that he's quit his full-time job and he's doing this full-time.
That's freaking amazing.
I'm sure even he gets projects that he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
No. Fine.
Yeah.
Play mini mates. I'll do a shot for you. Yeah,
because imagine I think again the expectation is like, oh, this would be awesome. But then once it turns to your day job, you're like, I'm fucking tired of this. Like, I don't want to. Like, I can't do the pose, or I'm not feeling creative today. And it's like, sorry, you got a deadline. Yeah.
Yeah. The pressure would kill me.
Or if it's a product that you're not really into, hey, guess what? Your first shot is Monster High Dolls, or some, like something that like here you're gonna shoot a bunch of bluey stuff, or just thinking that's something that you're not really into. Like, go with that expectation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not, a big account by any means, but I got contacted a little while ago. I'm not going to say the company name.
Yeah.
Just knowing what the product was going to be and what they produce, I turned them down. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested.
They're like, it's going to be on Adam and Eve though. Like, you're going to get 10% off the first order.
50% off. We'll give you a discount. You get it for free.
They're like, we heard you. Your name's Nasty Nate, and you gave tips. So here's this.
Right. Yeah, and for me, it's like I don't want to go into that with these expectations that I have to produce this picture about something that I care nothing about.
You're like, this is not gonna make any sense on my
yeah, it's not gonna make sense. It's gonna look like a money grab. I'm not interested. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but it's that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And I know we're going on different tangents here, but hopefully you guys kind of understand what we're trying to say. And
for sure,
I'd love to hear from other people. What are your thoughts about expectations for reality? Do you agree?
Yep.
Do you disagree?
Let us know.
Did we say something that resonated with you? Do you have like a comment or a quote that you try to remember to keep yourself in check? Because I'll try to remember quotes sometimes.
Yeah.
Just remind myself like, hey, the world doesn't owe me anything. So I got to fulfill my own expectations, that kind of thing. But yeah, let us know in the comments as you guys are hitting that like button, because please always do that. It really helps me and Prime out. Make sure you're leaving a comment below to give us your thoughts. And if you're not subscribed to the Figure Booth, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live, which is now every other week, every other Monday, or when we post new episodes, which is still every Sunday, weekly.
Yep.
And if you haven't checked out our prior episodes, go check them out. We had a great conversation last week and the week prior. To know what I'm talking about, go see that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give any more.
Find out.
But yeah, great conversation. I'm glad we went there. All right. Pre-orders.
Let's get that budget in line. First quarter. Let's go. It's not even over yet.
Yeah. Hashtag budget life. A lot of this you probably didn't know was coming, but you have to work it in the budget somehow. I guess the first one, there's a lot of stuff kind of going on this last week. Godzilla 1954 black and white edition from Mezco. This is a new line from Mezco called the Kaiju Collective. A new line that is highly posable and captures the immense detail of pop culture's most familiar monsters.
And they've done King Kong, right? So
they've done a King Kong.
But it seems like they're resetting like maybe the stage with this by giving it an official Kaiju.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really these are on seamless bodies too.
Oh, snap.
featuring all new articulated seamless bodies. So I think the seamless body thing is going to be becoming more and more present within the Mezco line. I think it's interesting to start with a black and white version of Godzilla, but I guess that makes sense because I think his first appearance, which was crazy, it was way back in 1933.
Wow.
Was the first time that they did a Godzilla movie. And I think it was black and white. So I think they're going to start there and kind of go from there. They did a quiz today during the Toys Fair stuff. And I think it gave us maybe some previews as other figures to come. Hedorah.
Oh, nice.
King Ghidorah. Some of the other kaiju monsters. But I think it's cool. I know there's a lot of kaiju fans out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And hopefully this is kind of like right up your wheelhouse. I feel like this is going to be 1/12 scale.
Did it say 12 inches? Did it say?
Maybe it did. Let me see. Approximately 12 inches from feet to tail.
Oh, from feet to tail.
8 inches tall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that feet to tail is a little misleading because it's like, well, the tail was
but
on the ground.
Who measures the tail? Like, yeah, exactly. It's on the ground.
Right.
But hey, you gotta start at the base.
Yeah, about you gotta start at the base, right? Yeah, so I think this will fit with your 1/12 collective line.
Yeah, but I mean, are you really gonna want Godzilla next to Gomez or Godzilla next to Spidey?
True. Yeah. I mean, this is
not
definitely
that I want it. Not that I want like a freaking 14-inch Godzilla. It's cool because NECA does Godzilla at 1/12 scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 8 inches.
Right. I think it's cool though is that it comes with like these little.
Oh, those are so cool. Yeah.
Mini jet plane, the railway cars that he's crunching in his mouth. Different hands, little mini cannons, mini tanks. It even comes with mini buildings.
Oh. So it's very enticing.
Yeah, you get a few of these. I think there was another release. It was Ultraman that comes with mini buildings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Ultraman.
Yeah, so if you get Ultraman and you get this Godzilla, you'll have like a few different mini buildings. You can create your own
cool
kaiju scenes.
I can see them doing like a mini building accessory set.
Right. Yeah. And it says seamless body design with an internal skeleton armature that is durable yet highly posable. Hinged jaw that opens and closes and approximately 8 inches tall. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so see that's I like that picture where it's showing Godzilla and it's telling you from like hair to here it's all 12 inches from the head to from teeth to tail. Okay.
Teeth to the tail. So that's like a 4-inch tail.
Yeah. Well.
You
got what you got.
I'm waiting. I'm like, where's he gonna go?
Yeah, I felt like that was an alley-oop, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna let this one. I'm not gonna say it. You almost had me. Yeah, you almost had me there.
But this is cool. Expect more.
140 though. Oof.
It is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be interested to see some in-hand reviews of this. And this will be the first of many, it sounds like, with Kaiju Collective being a new thing.
Yeah, I can see that being really enticing. That's cool.
I know there's a lot of Kaiju
the
fans out there.
Yeah.
And then within Toys Fair, they revealed some new stuff coming from Mezco. This is the 5 points TMNT.
Yeah.
Seems like I should have guessed this was coming, but with TMNT, they're not just going to do a 1/12 collective. We'll probably see more variants of the 1/12 figures and 5 points. I'm not as into 5 points as maybe I was originally, but I mean, this is cool for your 3.75 inch guys out there.
Yeah.
This one is awesome. The Shadow.
Oof. Yeah.
So cool.
For some reason, it gives me like the Spirit type of vibes. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, it's a Spirit. And I'm like, no, it literally says the Shadow.
Shadow.
So why?
Maybe they're doing Dick Tracy, doing Shadow. It'd be cool if we see like a Dark Man at some point.
Yeah.
The Spirit would be cool, like you're talking about.
Yeah. Give me a Gray Ghost.
Great Ghost would be, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would kill for a Gray Ghost. That'd be incredible. Yeah, but this is cool. I really like this one a lot. Totally unexpected, totally out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But more of an indication of them being willing to kind of
take those. I love to see this type of stuff rather than another Gomez or something Rumble Society.
Yes. I was just going to say the same thing. Yeah. This is a kind of a break from the Rumble Society norm.
Love it.
Hey, we like Rumble Society, but let's get some new licenses going on. Yeah.
Love it.
And the last reveal was an updated Wolverine.
Yeah.
With the 1991 suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it comes with the Sentinel base again.
Yeah. If you're a huge fan of Wolvie, then yeah. But I mean, Tiger Stripe for me, it is like I don't need him in this outfit. But there's others that need both versions. So hey,
right,
more the merrier.
Yeah, this doesn't really do a whole lot for me. I think this is like a bonus reveal. They weren't supposed to have this many, and then they ended up dropping another one. But I mean, maybe this is the suit for you. Maybe you're like, I've been really looking for that 1991 suit. Mafex dropped 2 new reveals, re-releasing their Dark Knight Returns Batman for the 4th time. It's the first time we've seen this figure. This one is in the black with the big yellow symbol, and then this also comes with a horse, but it doesn't look. Yeah, it's basically a statue, right? To Prime's point, he just sits on it. Doesn't really. I don't think the horse is going to move. It's just meant for display.
It's like a horse from a carousel.
Yeah, exactly. It does look like a horse from a carousel.
I mean, it's in a dynamic pose, so it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, this would be an easy way to do a Dark Knight Returns toy shot.
Right.
You just put them on there. You don't have to worry about it moving the horse around, and it's got to stand, so it's sitting there already.
Yeah, because most people are going to want to do some like a action related, and getting like a Legion's type of horse or something like that in that type of pose, and then for it to stay, you're going to need a standard. It's going to be a little tricky. So that's the plus side. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this is cool, and then it also comes with. I thought was interesting. Comes with a damaged abdomen piece.
Huh.
Which is kind of interesting. That's the first time we've seen from these figures.
Yeah.
That kind of piece. I feel like you could make that fairly easy yourself. This won't be the draw for me. And then I guess I get another
the
saddle.
damage one? The damaged part? You just take a Sharpie and just...
Yeah,
little red Sharpie. Damn. Hey, a little red Sharpie
Prime
action.
knows.
Yeah.
Prime knows. I'm just going to Sharpie up a torso. It will never be the same again, but I'll Sharpie it. And then they've got a Terminator 2... Judgment Day endoskeleton.
Is that 2-pack? It's 140.
It's one figure.
Holy moly! Is it actual titanium or is it made out of adamantium?
Made of plastic. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot for.
I mean,
this.
The paint apps. Does it have a wash?
I hope so. If that's
does the eyes light up? If the eyes lit up.
I don't think so.
Damn, 140 is a lot. Just, I feel like I don't know. It makes me feel.
I agree with you. It's cool because you can see all the little inner workings.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested if that stuff actually articulates as you move it. If you bend his leg, will you see that compressed like a hydraulic piston or something?
Probably because the RoboCop he has little pistons and his compress.
Exactly. Yeah. Man, you're like in my head. I need you to get out of there. Because everything I'm going to say, you just say it.
I'm all up in there.
Yeah, get up out of my head. I mean, if you're really into if you're really into Terminator, then maybe this excites you. I think for me and Prime doesn't maybe do a whole lot for us, and it's an expensive army builder. Definitely go with like HLJ for Mafex. I know I always bring up BBTS when I'm talking about Mafex. I always go HLJ or Ami. You can get better on the conversion rates there.
Yeah.
BBTS always kind of upsells.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Another one we wanted to talk about. I know I'm doing a lot of pre-orders, more than normal, but just a couple I wanted to share real quick. Instagram. So Toys Nacelle is showing off that they're going to be doing the biker mice from Mars figures.
Ooh, man, taking
nostalgia
a way back.
Cut here.
We need bikes. And then after this we need Street Sharks.
That Street Sharks would be really cool.
Yeah, Biker Mike's from Mars, man. I wasn't heavy into it, but I remember the cartoon. Like it was cool.
This is one of those cartoons that I never watched. I don't really know anything about this.
Here and there, my younger brother was really into it. But yeah, I think I vaguely remember having we had some of the figures because they came with bike. I can't remember. But I remember having those 3 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's cool. It's very nostalgic. Like I'm surprised that Nacel's got him not like Super 7 or something.
Right. Yeah. And the articulation is a bit concerning just based on what I'm seeing here. But obviously, like we're talking about, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a figure by its render.
Literally,
I'm sure we'll see more.
Yeah.
As
it looks like
goes
this is a
on.
cover, so don't judge this magazine by its cover.
Yes, Toy Collector magazine. And then I think the last thing I wanted to show is really just, I don't have a great picture, so I'm using Mike's account, AZ Toy Hunters Guild. Not really a pre-order, but just something that's dropping right now. I'm sure a lot of you already are aware of this, but NECA Haulathon is starting, and a lot of targets are already seeing all of these new NECA figures. There's a mutated Shredder. There's gosh, now I can't remember his name. Who's the blue guy?
Ray Fillet.
Ray Fillet, thank you. I was
Yeah.
going to say Manta Ray, but I knew that wasn't right. Black and white Usagi, a red kind of Ronin figure, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a red colored Ronin. You got the Mirage Triceraton. You get Rex 1, who's basically RoboCop, and you got all these different cartoon
it's so much
releases.
That's freaking like that Triceraton. I'm on that one. He's definitely on my list.
Yeah, I really like the comic stuff, whether it's the Archie comics or the Mirage comics. I think that's what I'm really after.
Yep.
And then what's not pictured here, which I think Mike got his hands on, was the accessory set.
That's really cool. Yeah, I saw some pictures of that.
Yeah, it comes with the 4 cartoon baby turtles, the TV set, which has interchangeable screens, so you can make a bunch of different screens, which is awesome. This little robot. And then I'm not sure if it comes with this game set or not. Like I said, there's not really great pictures of this stuff.
Yeah. And it's just hitting stores right now.
Just hitting stores right now. So if you're on the look for any of this, definitely go out there and go check out your local targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, big thanks to Mike. I wouldn't even have known this was happening if he had not put it in his stories. So guys like Mike, I think they're doing a lot of the groundwork for a lot of us. So I appreciate that. And I'll be looking because I definitely want at least that accessory set and probably a couple other things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pre-orders for the week. We'll go into plastic confessions.
I got another token. I didn't get anything. I don't think I got anything. No, yeah.
Token time. Okay, well, I am not getting a token this week.
Ooh.
Finally shipped my HLJ pile of loot, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
I got Cyborg Superman.
Finally.
I know. This is all old news, people. All these figures have already come out. Everybody's already talked about them. There's probably reviews out there.
Oh, you're going to love that Cyborg Soup.
I love this, man. It looks really cool. I actually took it out last night. I was looking at it.
Oh, okay.
The blues look better to me.
Yeah.
The cape looks nicer.
Yep. Told you.
All the detail. Yeah, just like you were talking about.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Let's see. Got Mafex Harley Quinn.
Oh, nice. I
might get Harley.
Yeah.
I've got all the Hush figures, so I couldn't pass on her. Even though I've got like 3 Harleys now. And then this is great timing because I actually sold my old one at the toy show last weekend, but the Mafex Classic Costume Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. Sexy.
That's nice.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really like the colors on this one. I was looking at the first one, which is McFarlane's style, very dark.
Yeah.
Getting this in hand, much nicer looking figure in my opinion.
I love the bright colors.
So those are my 3
nice
for this week. And then this says Nasty Nate's dirty trick, but this is definitely not my dirty trick. I've already shouted him out once before because I think he's just doing amazing work with these tricks. But Jason Yang worked more or less. He showed another one recently.
He's back at it again with his sorcery.
Seriously, man. Like,
what the heck? The Sorcerer Supreme of Toy Shots right now.
Yeah. Seriously, he's doing something called he posted a recent shot, and I'll show you guys what it is. Right
if they're not watching, they're listening. They should go check out his page.
Yeah, right. If you guys are listening, go check out Work More or Less's page to find these photos. But I'm showing a picture of Joker and Batman. These look like the Mondo versions of them.
Right. Yep.
And at first, you're like, "What's going on here? I don't understand."
He's just laughing. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. What's
very active? Ha ha ha. Too.
Right. I'm like, okay, well, those ha-ha-has were photoshopped.
Or they're cutouts.
They are not.
What? Look at that.
Just,
it's just some lights. Wait, he turns them into ha-has. He's using magic to turn this bokeh effect of lights into, he's just waving his wand. That's crazy.
The ha-has were created practically, which is crazy. It's called a custom bokeh, and it's a in-camera trick where you basically create this little filter that goes over the front of the lens, and you carve something into it. So he put in the ha-ha. You could put in really whatever you want, hearts or whatever the case is. And I guess if you put that over the lens, it forces those lights to create that shape.
That's so killer.
Yeah, so those lights are far enough away to where they're just very kind of out of focus, and that's what you want, because the camera doesn't really know the shape of those things. So it'll keep the light, and then for some reason, when you put that thing over the camera, it forces it into the shape.
Yeah. Magic.
Yeah, it's freaking magic, man. Yeah. So, Jason Yang, being the generous guy that he is, he posted a lot of info about this. He posted a full video that kind of goes through how he does it. Kind of gives you a bit more than what that other photo that we're just looking at. You can see he created his own little filters. You just put them right over the camera like that. I've already seen a couple people in the community doing this custom bokeh effect. It just really blew my mind. So,
and that, I mean, not to but the fact that he's taking the time to show you all this, right? And then people run with it, and then they do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people have the fear of oh, this is such a killer trick, I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Right.
But Jason, the way he is, this is so cool. I want everybody else to do it, just so everyone else gets to that next level. Everyone is growing and helping each other.
Exactly.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And he does say, if you do use it, use his tag, which is a hashtag WMOL custom bokeh, just so he can showcase it.
Again, that's awesome.
He's just trying to show you guys off. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing, man. I'm gonna do some custom bokeh hopefully this year, and I'm gonna tag the crap out of Jason.
Yeah, I mean, this and the other trick that he showed, there's something I want to do. So like I said, it says below, this is Nasty Nate's dirty trick. It's definitely not my trick. I'm not taking ownership for this. This is Jason's trick 100%. Yeah. I'm just showcasing it in case you guys haven't found it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Jason, for sharing that. That's really cool. And last but certainly not least, the last couple of these we've had as fan submissions, but we decided to make our own choice this week.
Yep.
This is a guy that's a big supporter of the podcast and just a good guy in general. I've talked to him a few different times through DMs, things like that. And I like his toy photography. So let me see. Let me get this real quick. We were talking about Henrock 112.
Nice.
Figure collector, toy photographer. He does 3D sculpting and 3D printing. Really just focusing on his toy photography here. This Conan shot of him on the back of the horse.
That's so freaking killer.
Yeah, very intense. I love the deep red background he chose. This Batman shot of Batman walking down the staircase. This one had me stopping, my scrolling. Yeah. Some of those shots that you're scrolling, you see something I stopped and just stared at it.
Double check it. Yep.
Yeah, I love the head sculpt he used on the classic Batman, but with the Sovereign Knight head sculpt. Now I want to do that with mine. This awesome Constantine shot where he's using the chainsaw. You can see, I think he added this wire in for pulling the chainsaw wire, starting it up. This awesome Sentinel shot with Wolverine. Another Constantine. I mean, the guy's just killing it. Predator. He's a big Mezco fan and collector and shooter.
Yeah.
And he's got just a ton of work. I love this Popeye shot, Popeye fishing, pulling a fish out of the water, doing some really amazing work. So just shout out to you, Henrock. Big fan of what you're doing. You can see a 78 points dial there on the rooftop with Spider-Man. But yeah, if you guys aren't following Henrock, please go check him out. Go like some of his
Yep.
Yeah, give him a follow, like his, let's give him a follow, like his photography, and just give him some support. This is what this is all about. We're trying to highlight other people in the community that are doing good work. And if you guys have a figure aficionado that you want us to recognize, please let us know. We really love the fan submissions. Those are the ones we try to focus on. So yeah, send us a DM or leave a comment below if you guys have your own figure aficionado that you would like to see on the show.
Yes, sir.
And I know you're all sad, but we're reaching the end.
We've come to another end of a episode. Let us know what were some of your takeaways. If you like what you heard and you want to continue to hear some more, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment, tell your friends, tell everyone to come and join the party.
Yes, tell your coworkers, your grandparents, whoever will listen to you. Time to come over to the Figure booth and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live or post new episodes. Prime, where can they find you?
You guys can all find me at Prime to the First on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Vero, and Facebook at FigureFan_Nate. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Next time, guys.